Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 1, Dad died. Chapter 1 Dad dies. The 12th lunar month with continuous rain and cold, the dank and cold air burrows into the bones like needle felt. Dad! A miserable cry echoed in the hospital. Just a minute ago, Shen Yanyan's father, Shen Jianhua, died of cancer. No one in this world truly loves her anymore. Seeing his hands and face covered with frostbite and wearing shabby clothes, a trace of pity flashed in the eyes of the medical staff. Just as they were about to step forward to comfort them, two women suddenly rushed in outside the ward. The two of them lied on the bedside and cried and howled for a while, then they aimed at Shen Yanyan and pulled her to tear for a while. "You wild bastard, little hoof, why wasn't you the one who died? How did you take care of Dad? When I came last month, Dad was fine, why did he suddenly die? The patient is in a terminal stage of cancer. If she hadn't taken good care of her, she would not have survived now." The medical staff present stepped forward and pulled the two away. Shen Jianhua was hospitalized for half a year. Shen Yanyan went to work during the day and came to bed with her at night. Everyone in the inpatient department knew her. Behind the scenes, everyone talked a lot about this poor woman. She was only in her 30s, she looked like someone in her 50s or 60s, she looked older than her mother, her hair was more than half white, and all the money she earned was given to her. My father was sick, and he didn't even have any decent clothes. Zhou Lanfang and Zhou Siyu came here occasionally and insulted her in various ways. She takes care of her father, isn't that just right? Zhou Lanfang replied unreasonably. If it weren't for professional ethics, the doctor would have wanted to do it. He resisted his anger, the patient still owes the hospital a hospital bill before he died. Please settle it. If Zhou Lanfang is not allowed to get married, 80% of the cost will fall on Shen Yanyan's head again, this woman is already pitiful enough. Did you not pay for the medical bills? Zhou Lanfang got angry again, and slapped Shen Yanyan for a while. Damn girl, are you spending money behind your back? Shen Yanyan seemed to have her soul taken away, and she didn't respond. Suddenly, she pushed Zhou Lanfang away and asked hoarsely, "Am I your own? Why do you treat me like this?" Zhou Lanfang was startled and let go subconsciously. You know. Zhou Siyu thought that Shen Jianhua said something before his death. Before Shen Yanyan could answer, she smiled again. Shen Jianhua was dead, Gu Jianli was dead, and the second elder of the Gu family was dead, and her child was also raised by Shen Yanyan. Hospital medical expenses are completely useless, what can you do if you know? Dad told you. Yes, Jianbin liked me from the very beginning. The reason why he proposed to you is to make you marry his disabled elder brother Gu Jianli, so the change of the groom on the wedding night is all about us. Planned. Shen Yanyan's head buzzed, what did you say? Is it really not Zhou Lanfang's biological child? They were deceived to get married back then, and they also designed it. The nails were digging into the flesh, but she felt no pain at all. Her eyes turned blood red. I was only 17 at the time, how could you be so cruel? Zhou Siyu had a look of contempt, you can only blame you for being a wild breed that Dad gave birth to outside with others. Bastard. Zhou Lanfang scolded her like this for so many years, isn't it groundless? Ha! Shen Yanyan suddenly raised her head and laughed. Zhou Siyu looked at the neurotic expression on his face, but his heart was a little horrified. Shen Yanyan, are you crazy? Yes, I'm crazy. How miserable is her life? I thought it was life, but I didn't expect it to be man-made. Resentment is like a volcanic eruption. Shen Yanyan rushed towards Zhou Siyu and bit him. Zhou Siyu was unprepared, and was bitten off a piece of meat abruptly, screaming in pain. There was a sharp pain in the back of the head, Shen Yanyan's eyes went black, and he fell straight to the ground like a ruined puppet. Vaguely, there seemed to be the sound of the stool falling to the ground, as well as Zhou Lanfang's fierce cursing. Dare to bite Siyu, I'll smash to death your little hoof. End of this chapter. Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 2, Building 2. Chapter 2 Building. Chapter 2 Rebirth. Pain. Not only a headache, but the whole body aches. The smell of disinfectant from the hospital is no longer lingering on the tip of the nose, but a damp and moldy smell. She wanted to open her eyes, but she couldn't move like a nightmare, and a conversation suddenly came from her ear. "Aunt, won't my sister complain to my aunt? She dares, if the dead girl dares to sue, I will strangle her to death. Aunt, otherwise, let my sister go to school. After all, she is my aunt's own daughter. If she is not allowed to go, my aunt will definitely have a lump in her heart and affect the relationship between your husband and wife. A wild species still wants to turn the sky around at home. See you can go to school with peace of mind and don't have to worry about anything. It's all up to aunt." Turned into ashes, and Shen Mianmian also remembered these two voices. Zhou Lanfang, Zhou Siyu. She was going to get up and kill them. With a strong resentment, Shen Mianmian rushed out of the cage that imprisoned her, suddenly opened her eyes, but was startled by everything in front of her. It is no longer a cold ward. Dark and dilapidated earth walls, small wooden windows, quilts with several large patches, cloth shoes with worn bottoms. These are all things that only existed in the 1980s. Thinking of the conversation she heard just now, Shen Mianmian finally determined that she was reborn and returned to the 12th lunar month of the 3rd year of her junior year, the day before she was expelled from the school. The door squeaked and was pushed open from the outside. Zhou Lanfang walked in. She didn't seem to expect Shen Mianmian to wake up so quickly. There was some accident, and she didn't know what she said just now. Did this dead girl hear it? Forget it, even if you hear it, what kind of storm can it make? Get up and wash the dishes. Shen Mianmian looked at Zhou Lanfang, her fingernails were tucked into her fingers, and she finally held back the hatred in her heart. To resist now is to give away her head in vain. Dainese, are you deaf? My body hurts and I can't move, let's see you wash it. She remembered that in her previous life, she had to support her injury and washed the dishes. She has always been doing housework, so that her hands are full of cracks. Zhou Siyu is like an eldest young lady. Only when Shen Jianhua is at home will she pretend to wipe the table and hold the tableware. What did you say? This was the first time Shen Mianmian refused to work so stubbornly. Zhou Lanfang suspected that she had heard it wrong. What are you pretending to be dead? Get up and work. Still can't cure you. Knocked twice. Shen Mianmian let out a sneer in his heart. At that time, the bamboo stick with the thick arm was broken, right? Zhou Siyu pulled Zhou Lanfang's arm and persuaded her in a good voice, "Aunt, let me wash it. Mianmian must have been beaten, and I'm in a bad mood." Why are you in a bad mood? Is it to hate her? Unsure how to curse her to death, Zhou Lanfang walked around the room, took out a bamboo stick from behind the door, pointed at Shen Mianmian and threatened, "Can't you get up?" Looking at Zhou Lanfang's ruthless expression, Shen Mianmian was disgusted for a while. She was really inferior to a dog in Zhou Lanfang's place. Lifting the quilt, Shen Mianmian endured the pain on her body, put on the patched old cotton shoes, and stumbled out of the room. According to Zhou Lanfang's temper, if she didn't get up, she would be greeted with another beating. She is only 15 years old now. Due to malnutrition, she is only over 1.4 meters tall, half a head shorter than children of the same age, and she cannot resist at all. When passing by Zhou Siyu, she couldn't help but glance at her coldly. If she didn't live a new life, who would have guessed that a teenage girl would have such a deep scheming, united with her aunt, and devoured her life step by step? She was cornered. Zhou Siyu was horrified by Shen Mianmian's look, with a look of fear on his face, and Mianmian's expression was so scary just now, as if she hated you and wanted to eat you. Zhou Lanfang also noticed that Shen Mianmian was different from before. Shen Mianmian never dared to hesitate about what she asked Shen Mianmian to do before. Dead Nizi is getting older, and she starts to want to resist me. When I look back, I have to take care of her and be honest with her. You go to school first, concentrate on listening to the class, and don't have to worry about anything. Zhou Siyu's mouth couldn't help but evoke a sly smile. Every time, she could calmly provoke the relationship between the two, arousing Zhou Lanfang's hatred for Shen Mianmian, and she profited from it. End of this chapter. Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 3, Meet Henan. Chapter 3, Encountering Henan. It was freezing cold outside, and Shen Mianmian was wearing thin clothes. For a while, she didn't know where to go. Shen Jianhua went to get her salary and could only come back at night. She had to freeze outside for at least 4 hours. The current physical condition is simply unbearable. After thinking for a while, Shen Yanyan decided to go to the village chief. Zhou Lanfang was not afraid of anyone, but she was a little afraid of the village chief. In her eyes, the village chief was an official. The pain all over her body was severe, and with the cold, Shen Yanyan felt a little dizzy. Touching, she suddenly bumped into something. Her lower abdomen was aching for a while, and tears burst out instantly. "Got a car. Are you okay?" The car door opened, and a tall and resolute man stepped down from the driver's seat. His voice was low and cold, like an ice skating knife. His eyes were cold, and Shen Yanyan instinctively took a step back, and his tears stopped instantly. She slowed down and shook her head slightly. "It's okay." "Looking for the village chief?" The man looked at her for a while, then frowned. The little girl in front of him was thin, and in such a cold weather, she was only wearing a thin jacket and her sleeves were shortened, so she was exposed. "A bruise on his arm." "Yeah." Shen Yanyan nodded blankly. "He's not at home," the man said lightly. Glanced at the locked wooden door, Shen Yanyan turned around and wanted to leave, but his body shivered uncontrollably. "Cold?" The man raised his eyebrows slightly, and before Shen Yanyan could answer, he walked to the passenger seat and opened the door. "Wait in the car." Maybe it was really too cold, so Shen Yanyan obediently walked towards the man and sat in the car. In a car in the 1980s, there was no air conditioner, but in a small and airtight car, it was much warmer than the outside. The temperature slowly rose, and her thoughts gradually became clear, and she suddenly returned to her senses. She actually sat in a car with an adult man who had only met a few times. The man was sitting in the driver's seat at the moment, looking down at the newspaper that he didn't know where to take it out. Shen Yanyan's eyes fell on his face involuntarily. He was very handsome, with sculpted facial features, like he came out of an anime in general. There is a sense of righteousness all over him. He didn't know what he saw in the newspaper. His brows slightly wrinkled, there was a bit of coolness in his eyes, exuding an aura that was not angry and mighty, and he looked nervous for a while. "Hida." As soon as she opened her mouth to speak, the man's gaze came over, her tongue nodded, and when she reached her mouth, it became, "Comrade." He seemed to be delighted by her words, his brows gradually stretched, there was a smile in his eyes, he raised his eyebrows slightly, and said in his throat, "Huh? It's really him." Shen Yanyan blushed with embarrassment. She was only 15 years old now. Calling a man several years older than herself was like a child talking big. But thinking of his identity, Shen Yanyan couldn't help but feel a little incredible. On the first day of Rebirth, she actually had an intersection with Henan. Henan, almost no one in the village does not know that he is a native of Kyoto and has been in Liqing for the past 2 years. I heard that the roots are right and Miaohong is a proper third generation of H. He went to the army when he was a teenager, and he served as a soldier for 5 years. The village chief has 3 sons. The second son and Henan were comrades in arms. Later, he died unexpectedly in the line of duty. Henan was discharged from the army soon after, and every month or so, he would come to the village to see the village chief. End of this chapter. Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 4, Ask for help. Chapter 4, Asking for help from the village chief. He has a cold temper and doesn't like to gossip. Every time he comes, he only goes to the village head's house, he never hangs out, and he doesn't give a second glance at any girl. Impression. Many people in the village even had the idea of looking for Henan to be their son-in-law, but it also existed in their imaginations. They had culture, ability, and family background, and they were people they couldn't match. This is all Shen Yanyan knows. As for what Henan is doing now, she doesn't know. Anyway, he has always been a mysterious person. This is the first time she has looked at him directly. Before, she could only see his car, or a back. What I know is from Zhou Lanfang and Zhou Siyu chatting in the past life. Originally this week Siyu wanted to get close to Henan, but they ignored her at all. In addition, Zhou Siyu was timid and gave up slowly. After returning to her thoughts, Shen Yanyan realized that Henan was looking at her, as if waiting for her next words. She pursed her lips and said, "Thank you." The two are not familiar with each other. Calling brother he is a bit of a relationship, and calling her by name is not polite. After all, she is only 15 years old now. As for comrade he. This seems to be the title of the junior or the elder, simply didn't call anything. Shen Mianmian didn't think they would meet again in the future. Henan gave a faint, and asked, "Who fought?" "Huh?" Shen Mianmian was stunned for a moment before he realized it. He asked about the bruise on his hand. "My mother." Henan frowned slightly. "Your dad doesn't care." The bruise on his hand is obviously a new injury adding to an old one. It is not as simple as educating children. For Shen Mianmian, Henan's impression of her is that there is only such a little girl in the village, and others don't understand. "My dad's not at home." Shen Mianmian lowered her head, a feeling of grievance suddenly surged in her heart, old wounds added new ones, her body was almost never bruised, Shen Jianhua always turned one eye and closed the other, Zhou Lanfang he didn't ask any further excuses. "Do not know." Henan's brows furrowed even more deeply. Even a blind man could see such an obvious injury. It was nothing more than abusing one and the other, presumably because of his patriarchal ideology. "Henan." A charitable voice suddenly sounded outside the car. "Uncle Zhao." Henan opened the car door and got out of the car. Shen Mianmian immediately followed and went down. The cold wind from outside blew on her like a knife, she couldn't help shivering. Zhao Xianlai was about to respond when he saw Shen Mianmian getting out of the car. A hint of doubt appeared in his eyes. "Mianmian, why are you here?" He was still sitting in Henan's car. Although it felt strange, Zhao Xianlai didn't think it wrong. Shen Mianmian was only 15 years old, and he was still a child. He also knew Henan's character. "My mother hit me." Shen Mianmian sneezed coldly as soon as she said a word. She sniffed and continued, "She didn't let me go to school, I wanted to go, and then she hit me." Shen Mianmian's voice is not loud, but his expression is clear. "Alas." Zhao Xianlai sighed, "You go back first, and I'll talk to your father at night." He knew something about the Shen family. When Shen Jianhua was not at home, he couldn't communicate with Zhou Lanfang. "Go back." Shen Mianmian stood still. Zhou Lanfang found out that she hadn't washed the dishes, and she was probably beaten again. She didn't have the ability to resist now. "If you don't want to go back, just go and sit in the car." Henan's voice suddenly sounded above his head. Shen Mianmian looked up at him in a little astonishment, and saw him walk over to open the car door expressionlessly, and his eyes signaled her to sit up. End of this chapter. Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 5, Patriarchal. Chapter 5 Patriarchal. It was much warmer in the car than outside. As soon as I sat in, the blood all over my body seemed to warm up. Shen Mianmian wrapped her arms around herself. Thinking of the past life, she couldn't help but redden her eyes again. The road ahead is long. Yes, it's school. Only by going to school and having the ability can you get rid of the fate of the past life and resist Zhou Lanfang. College students in the 1980s were very precious. Even a humble university was enough to brighten the faces of the people in a village. In the eyes of others, they were intellectuals, and others would look at them highly. Teachers in this era are also very strict, especially for students like her. Although she likes to read, she has no time to do homework at home. After washing dishes and clothes every day, she has to feed pigs and cows. Zhou Lanfang saves money. She was not allowed to turn on the lights because of the electricity. She seldom completed her homework. The teacher gritted her teeth in anger and often punished her for standing. Yesterday, she was beaten by Zhou Lanfang and didn't go. She didn't go today. She must go tomorrow. The school has regulations that students will be expelled after 3 days of absenteeism. She didn't study well, which was one of the reasons why she couldn't study in her previous life, but Shen Jianhua didn't object. Zhao Xianlai looked at Shen Mianmian, who was sitting in the car, and sighed, turned around and walked into the yard. Henan followed behind him. As soon as the two entered the main room, Zhao Xianlai's daughter-in-law Li Chunhua came back from the outside. "The word is to ask. Why is Mianmian sitting in Henan's car?" Zhao Xianlai took a big puff of cigarettes, and then said with a sad face, "I've been beaten again, and I have nowhere to go. Lan Fang is really a sinner, I don't want to support it." Li Chunhua paused in the middle of his words, glanced at the car at the door, sighed, turned and said to Henan, "You and your uncle sit first, I will give it to you. Pour some tea." Henan nodded and responded lightly. As soon as Li Chunhua went out, he asked lightly, "Uncle Zhao, what's going on with Mian?" "Continue." Zhao Xianlai glanced at Henan strangely. When did he become so familiar with Shen Mian? Mian's child is also pitiful. Zhou Lanfang beats and scolds the child twice every 3 days. You can see from her body that old wounds add new ones, and they haven't stopped for a few days at the end of the year. Henan frowned slightly. "You didn't care." Zhao Xianlai sighed deeply, with a very helpless tone. "After all, it's someone else's family matter. Mian has never come to me like today. It's not very easy to manage, and I didn't know she was so indifferent at that time. Who doesn't educate their children and doesn't beat and scold them?" He hadn't made trouble here before, and even if he was the village chief, he couldn't be too lenient when it came to other people's closed doors. In this era, there are very few people who study, and everyone has no culture, does not understand the law, and does not know that such behavior is child abuse. Henan frowned deeper. Li Chunhua came over with the teapot, and couldn't help answering, "Lan Fang is partial, she only knows how to love her niece, but she doesn't treat Mian as a person at all. The neighbors who live next door say, Mian was always beaten and screamed when she was a child. I haven't heard anything in the past 2 or 3 years. I thought she didn't dare to beat her because she saw that the child was old. I didn't expect it to be superficial. I was numb, so I didn't make a sound." The injury on her arm made her feel distressed, and even a dog would be reluctant to treat it like this. Zhou Lanfang's heart is definitely not fleshy. After listening to Li Chunhua's narration, Henan pondered for a while, but his expression could not show his anger or anger. "Uncle Zhao, don't you plan to take care of this?" End of this chapter. Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 6, Village Head Talk. Chapter 6, The Village Chief's Talk. "Come on, everyone has sued here, how can we ignore it? It's just." Zhao Xianlai sighed in embarrassment. "The best I can do is talk about beating children. As for school, if they are married, Mian is really not allowed to go to school. This is really hard to manage. Her father has recently lost his job, and raising 2 children to school is indeed difficult. Mian's study is not as good as Siyu. Anyone who has studied will let him continue to study, and he is no exception. Being beaten up like this, can you be willing to study hard?" Henan's eyes sank when he thought of those bright eyes with tears in them. Noticing Henan's expression, Li Chunhua helped Zhao Xianlai to explain this matter. "You can't blame your uncle. If you don't ask Siyu to study and let Mian go, it is estimated that the teachers of the school will find her home, and others will not care about Mian. It's because of poor study. People are like this, they only look at the result, not the reason." Henan didn't answer. He was silent for a while and said, "She probably didn't eat lunch. Auntie, please cook her a bowl of noodles. It is good." Li Chunhua had a good heart and was not stingy. As soon as he heard that Shen Mian had not eaten, he turned around and went to the kitchen. When a bowl of hot noodles was brought in front of Shen Mian, her already cold heart seemed to hit the stove, gradually gaining temperature, and her eyes turned red. Wiped a handful of tears. "Thank you, Aunt Li. The living standards of the people in this era have not been fully improved. Most of the people usually eat coarse grains and don't have guests, so they don't want to eat weak noodles at all. Got an egg?" Li Chunhua stroked Shen Mian's hair, feeling distressed for a while. "Good boy, don't cry, eat it while it's hot. I was beaten yesterday, and I haven't eaten yet." Shen Mian was really hungry. She started eating with the bowl in her hand. Her stomach warmed up, and a tear fell into the bowl involuntarily. All huddled together. After Shen Mian finished eating, Li Chunhua took the bowl back. When she turned around, she caught a glimpse of a familiar figure on the road. She hurried back to the main room. "Come first, Jianhua is back." "Why are you back now? Didn't you say it was night?" Zhao Xianlai stood up and said to Henan, "You can rest here for a while. I'll go to Mian's house first and take care of her affairs." He nodded, yeah. He glanced at the thin figure in the car, and frowned slightly. Shen Yanyan went home with Zhao Xianlai, and as soon as she arrived at the door, she heard Zhou Lanfang's scolding complaint, that girl, she slept late in the morning and didn't go to school, and she pretended to be sick. Siyu planned to call her up to go to school, but she lost her temper and ran away, and she doesn't know where she went wild again. Shen Jianhua knew that Zhou Lanfang didn't like Shen Yanyan, and always said she was not good, but also felt that at least 3 points of Zhou Lanfang's words were true, and Shen Yanyan should really not go to school. After observing his expression, Zhou Lanfang softened his tone and tentatively discussed, Jianhua, you don't have a job anymore, the 2 children will spend a lot of money to go to school, our family must not be able to afford it, these 2 children can only one has continued to read. The labor force in the family is Shen Jianhua. Although Zhou Lanfang usually likes to lose her temper and act as a demon, but it is really such a big thing, she doesn't dare to make her own decisions, she always discusses with Shen Jianhua, which is one of the reasons why Shen Jianhua can tolerate her. Zhou Lanfang made it, but he would not step on Shen Jianhua's bottom line. End of this chapter. Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 7, Tell Grievances. Chapter 7 Telling Grief. Shen Jianhuo pondered for a while, then who do you think is suitable for studying? Of course it's Siyu. Feeling that her partiality was a little obvious, Zhou Lanfang quickly explained in a good voice, Nianyan's academic performance is not good, and she likes to play truancy and does not do her homework. The teachers have complained to me several times. After letting her study. She also can't get into college, money is wasted, it's better to do farm work at home. Siyu has good academic performance, and she will be admitted to college in the future. There isn't a college student in our village. There is light. Let those who laugh at us behind the scenes that we don't have a son see that a daughter is no worse than a son. Shen Jianhua was persuaded, but he still had some concerns. Siyu is not our daughter after all. Hearing this from Zhou Lanfang, it has another meaning. Zhou Siyu is not, so Shen Yanyan is. Sure enough, it's outside. In normal times, Zhou Lanfang would definitely make a fuss again, but now that she has other goals, she endured it. I know what you're thinking, Siyu was raised by us, and we will definitely kiss her. I have discussed with her, and in the future, I will ask her to change her name to our parents, and her household registration will also be moved over and her name will be changed to Shen Siyu. I guess Mianyan will have some opinions in her heart. Shen Jianhua still hesitated a little, but he had basically decided not to let Shen Mianyan study. Zhou Siyu studied well, and she really had to be more secure in training her. What opinion does she have? Zhou Lanfang said strangely, do you see how many girls in the village read more than her? Some haven't gone to school. What's wrong with her? Shen Mianyan couldn't bear it any longer, and walked into the main room with her feet up. Dad, I want to study. There was never a firmness in her tone. I didn't expect that Shen Yanyan heard the conversation between the two, and Shen Jianhua felt a little guilty for a moment. Seeing that Zhao Xianlai also came in together, he quickly explained, I just discussed with your mother just now. Discuss? Haven't you already made a decision in your heart? Seeing this father who she had been filial to her whole life, Shen Yanyan felt sour in her heart, but she understood that now was not the time to be hypocritical. She sniffed and said aggrievedly, Dad, I will study hard in the future, and I promise to be admitted to university. Thought it would be useful to call the village chief. Zhou Lanfang glared at her in disgust, promise? What guarantee do you take? Our family can't afford it when 2 people study. You don't study well without Siyu, why are you arguing with her? Shen Yanyan ignored Zhou Lanfang and looked at Shen Jianhua and called out in a pleading tone, Dad. She knew that as long as Shen Jianhua promised her to study, Zhou Lanfang would not dare to do it explicitly. Shen Jianhua was a little soft-hearted and dared not look into Shen Yanyan's eyes. Zhao Xianlai answered at the right time, Jianhua, there is a reason for Mianyan's poor academic performance. Shen Yanyan rolled up his sleeves cooperatively, Dad, look, my mother beat this. What nonsense are you talking about? Zhou Lanfang panicked and quibbled, who hit you? It's obviously your own. Who can slap the body like this? That's what you pinch, and also hit with a stick. Shen Yanyan never complained before, because she didn't dare, but now she is no longer timid. Dad, I have a lot of injuries like this on my body. I don't have a few good spots all over my body. My mother often beats me, she doesn't allow me to sue me, and when you're not at home, she just gives me leftovers and calls me a wild breed. End of this chapter. Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 8, Argue. Chapter 8 Arguments. You bastard. What nonsense are you talking about? Now that you've learned to talk nonsense, let's see if I won't tear your mouth apart. Zhou Lanfang was about to pump Shen Mianmian when she went up, but fortunately, she responded quickly and hid behind Zhao Xianlai. Zhao Xianlai was a little angry and wanted to beat people in front of him, not to mention on weekdays. Shen Jianhua looked embarrassed, and quickly scolded Zhou Lanfang, "What are you doing? If you have something to say, what do you do with your hands?" Zhou Lanfang said confidently, "This kid has learned to talk nonsense, no matter what. She disciplines her daughter, and does she need to look at other people's faces? I'm not talking nonsense." Shen Mianmian bent over and rolled up the trouser legs, from the ankle to the knee. The bruising was more serious. "I still have many such injuries on my body, whether I fell or pinched. Dad and Uncle Zhao will know the difference. No one is a fool. The arms and legs are blue and purple. If you insist on falling, isn't that talking nonsense with your eyes open?" Shen Jianhua was startled. He thought Zhou Lanfang was just educating the children, but he didn't expect such a heavy hand. When Zhou Lanfang saw his face, he knew that this time he couldn't be fooled, and quickly changed his expression of hating iron. "Isn't it because she played truant that I beat her? The teachers have come to the house several times, haven't you seen them that time?" Shen Jianhua thought about it carefully. Last year, he did encounter a teacher who came home. When he came back, the teacher just left. Zhou Lanfang said that Shen Mianmian was truant from school, and the teacher came to teach her. Because she heard that Shen Mianmian was truant from school more than once, Shen Jianhua had no doubts. Children who are truant from school must be educated. A filial son emerges from the stick, which is the slogan of this era. Shen Mianmian certainly wouldn't let Zhou Lanfang talk nonsense. With tears in her eyes, she explained aggrievedly, "I never skipped school. That time, it was because of a high fever of 40 degrees in class. The teacher was worried and sent me back. In fact, the teacher came here once, and the fever was 40 degrees, and everyone was almost confused. Communications were not very convenient in the 1980s. The teacher was afraid that something would happen to her on the way, so she sent her back. When she left, she repeatedly told Zhou Lanfang to take her to the hospital, but Zhou Lanfang only gave her a few antipyretics. Fortunately, she survived. Dad, if you don't believe what I said, you can go to the school and ask the teacher." When she heard the teacher, Zhou Lanfang immediately became anxious. "Teacher, what? It's winter vacation now, people are so busy, how can I have time to take care of our family's mess?" She also said this to Zhao Xianlai, implying that he manages too much. Speaking of which, what else does Shen Jianhua not understand? Zhou Lanfang was obviously guilty. "Why are you a mother? After so many years as a husband and wife, you still don't know what kind of person I am. Do you believe anything she says? Oh, these days can't be over." Since it didn't make sense, Zhou Lanfang simply played the trick of crying, making trouble, hanging himself, sitting on the ground, and crying with snot and tears. Shen Jianhua couldn't do anything about her. His face was ashen, and he glanced at Zhao Xianlai a little embarrassedly. "Village chief, let you see a joke." End of this chapter. Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 9, Question. Chapter 9 Questioning. Zhao Xianlai snorted and said to Zhou Lanfang, "Okay, don't scream and scream, this is your family business, and I shouldn't care about it, but the children were beaten like this, they all ran to my house, and I can't help but ask, make a promise that you won't be allowed to beat Mianmian again in the future." "Bah, you know it's her family business. The wild seed she raised could fight whatever she wanted." Zhou Lanfang cursed in her heart, but her voice was not small. Zhao Xianlai ignored her and turned to look at Shen Jianhua. "Jianhua, since Mianmian's academic performance is not good because of family reasons, then she goes to school." Shen Jianhua interrupted Zhao Xianlai with a look of embarrassment. "Village chief, it's not that I don't want Mianmian to go to school, you already know the situation of my family, now I'm unemployed, and I won't get a kiln salary if I look for a job. Gao, I can't support 2 high school students at all, let alone go to college in the future, Siyu's grades are better. The rest of the words, he did not continue to say, but the meaning of the expression is already very obvious, Dad. I thought she knew the truth. Even out of guilt, Shen Jianhua would agree to her reading. It turned out that she thought too much. Although Zhou Lanfang instigated it, this was Shen Jianhua's inner decision, right? Just let Zhou Lanfang be the bad guy. Shen Jianhua's eyes dodged, he didn't dare to look directly at Shen Minyan. Zhao Xianlai looked at Shen Minyan with an apologetic expression, he couldn't help with this task. Going to school in the 1980s was not free. Even if Shen Jianhua was not unemployed, it would be difficult to support 2 students. As a village chief, how could he persuade others when he knew the conditions of their families? Dad, am I your own? Daodu's big tears fell from her eyes, but she bit her lip and didn't cry out. With the scars on her arms and legs, it was even more pitiful than the cabbage in the TV series. This question asked Shen Jianhua's weakness, what are you asking? Back then, your mother and I could not support ourselves, so how could we have rations to support other people's babies? As soon as Zhou Lanfang became anxious, he stopped crying, and stood up in a sigh, you girl, have you listened to some immortal babbling? After raising her for more than 10 years, she finally managed to work and make money. When the time comes, this dead girl can't be allowed to discover the truth. Shen Minyan sneered from the bottom of his heart, but pressed on with grievances on his face, how can a father not let his own daughter go to school, but support someone else's daughter? No matter how well someone else's daughter studies, can she still give you old age? She deliberately deepened the word pension. The illegitimate daughter is also closer than your niece, right? Shen Jianhua. He couldn't catch up, but Minyan was right. When Zhou Siyu took over, he was already 8 or 9 years old, and he usually went home. Now it sounds nice, but whether he will give him old age in the future, or not. It's hard to tell. Zhou Lanfang raised her hand and poked Shen Minyan's forehead vigorously, shrinking Shen Minyan in fright, you motherfucker, you have learned to sow discord, Siyu is better than you, that is, you are more qualified to study than you. If it wasn't for her pregnancy and miscarriage that led to infertility, how could she have tolerated Shen Minyan in the Shen family for so many years? If you talk, what do you do with your hands? Shen Jianhua glared at Zhou Lanfang, then pulled Shen Minyan behind him. The village chief was watching, not knowing how to restrain himself. This dead girl doesn't study well and is still arguing with Siyu, so I can take care of it. She couldn't give in on this matter. She had always been bad to this dead girl. If she had the ability in the future, she might have to take revenge on her. End of this chapter. Rebirth 80, Xueba's wife is a little sweet. Chapter 10, Convention. Chapter 10, The Covenant. Okay, stop arguing. Zhao Xianlai interrupted the quarrel between the two. Suggested, isn't Minyan still half a semester in the 3rd grade? Let her finish the 3rd grade first and see if her grades have improved before making a decision. In the current situation, we can only do this first. As for the future, we have to see whether Shen Minyan can compete, and he doesn't want to wipe out the hope in her eyes. Do not. I agree. Shen Minyan spoke before Zhou Lanfang. When she helped Zhou Siyu with her children in her previous life, she learned a lot of knowledge along with her. Although she forgot about the same, it was not difficult to pick it up again. She has confidence. Zhao Xian looked at Shen Jianhua, do you agree? I agree too. Speaking of which, the village chief's face is still to be given. Zhou Lanfang gritted her teeth angrily, dead girl, but her mouth was very fast, and she even snatched her words. Now that Shen Jianhua has agreed to the village chief, if she makes any more comments, it will be too obvious. Shen Jianhua will definitely be angry, so she can only bear it. Damn girl, want to read? Take care of her later. The matter was settled, Zhao Xianlai told Shen Jianhua a few words and went home. Sent Zhao Xianlai away on the front foot, and Zhou Lanfang made a scene on the back foot, our family has no savings now, where are you going to find money to teach her tuition for the second half of the semester? Go back to the room and talk. He was worried that Zhou Lanfang would leak his mouth when he was angry, and said to Shen Minyan, Minyan, you also go back to the room to rest first. Shen Mianmian responded, but did not go back to the house, but went to Zhao Xianlai's house again. Zhao Xianlai had just arrived home on his forefoot and his had not touched the stool. When he saw Shen Mianmian coming again, his first thought was that Zhou Lanfang was in trouble. Your mother beat you again? He Nan's brows also frowned, and when he returned home, he was still dressed so thinly, it seemed that her father didn't take her seriously. Noticing He Nan's expression, Shen Mianmian guessed, did he find her troublesome? She couldn't hold back. She tried her best to ignore He Nan's gaze. Uncle Zhao, I'm not complaining this time, I'm here to borrow money. Borrow money? Borrow money? Zhao Xianlai and Li Chunhua were both stunned for a moment, but He Nan's dark eyes flashed. Shen Mianmian mustered up his courage. Uncle Zhao, Li, you all know about my family's situation. My mother will definitely do everything possible to prevent me from studying, so I want to ask, in case she really doesn't give me tuition, can you lend me first? Before they could answer, she hurriedly promised, I will definitely return the money to you before the start of the 3rd year of high school. I can write an IOU. According to Zhou Lanfang's temper, when she pays tuition, she must find another way out, just in case. The tuition fee for the 3rd year of junior high school is 30 yuan. She is confident that she will be able to pay it back before high school starts. Zhao Xianlai and Li Chunhua glanced at each other. They understood what Shen Mianmian meant. The money was borrowed by the couple behind Shen Jianhua's back. 30 yuan is not a small amount. After a year of farming, it can only be sold for 100 yuan. When going out to work, it is only 20 yuan a month, and some even have only 10 yuan. Shen Mianmian was a child after all, and Li Chunhua hesitated. Zhao Xianlai pondered for a while, Mianmian, I can help you with the tuition fee first, but there is a premise. Shen Mianmian's eyes lit up, Uncle Zhao, you said. End of this chapter.